guys, welcome back to Social Studies. So you guys should have completed on Friday your Native American books, and I'm so excited to just go through them and see what you guys chose and what you wrote about and see your creativity in those booklets. I'm going to give them back to you because I think it's a good book for you guys to have, and I thought it was just kind of a fun way to really explore the Native American chapter, because I started us out into the chapter by having us do pages from the book and just going through the book, and the book moved pretty fast through the Native American chapters, and I just felt like the book, the pages in the book weren't detailed enough and didn't really give us that much information about Native Americans. So that is why, I'm talking about our social studies book, by the way. So that is why I thought it would be better if we created our own Native American booklets so we could just explore the chapter more, because I think this is a really important chapter. It's kind of just talking about the history of our country and the Native Americans and the different tribes that lived here before us. So that is why I wanted to go beyond our social studies workbooks and create our own book and really dive into it. Today, I'm going to give you guys a test. It is your Chapter 7 Social Studies test based out of our social studies workbooks. It looks like this. So I thought that I'm going to give you this test. It's very short. It's basically just a synopsis, just a review of the social studies, of your social studies book, your workbook, and just summing up some things that we've learned. It doesn't get into detail with all the stuff that I covered with you guys in our own booklets, but that's okay, because I'm actually going to take the booklets you made at home and consider that part of your test grade, because I think you guys put a lot of work and effort into those, and they're super important. But I do have to give you a test from our curriculum book, just because I have to. So I am going to give you the Chapter 7 test today. Your parents should all have this at home. They should have picked it up. And it looks like this. Before you guys take the test, I'm going to review with you guys like I always do. Typically, I would review the day before and then a little bit right before the test if I had you guys in my class. But I figured this is the most efficient way to review with you guys. So you can watch this video right before you take your social studies test. But I would ask you guys to all show honesty and integrity and to not listen to this video while you're taking your social studies test. This is a review, and eventually you guys are going to take the test without this video, and I just want to make sure that you are taking the test all by yourself, okay, without any help. So we had talked about different tribes. We talked about the Plains region, the Northwest region, and the Southwest region. And you guys kind of studied 2 out of those 3 regions. You guys were able to choose your 2 that you wanted to dive into, and we did like comparing and contrasting. We talked about different symbols. You guys were to write, if you were to be part of that tribe, what it would be like. So we did a whole sort of things. Can't talk today. All sorts of things revolving around these different regions. And if we remember, the main place where all these Native Americans lived, okay? So we talked about there's different regions, but they all lived in North America, okay? So all the Native Americans lived in North America, okay? And some lived in the Plains region, some lived in the Northwest, some lived in the Southwest. We talked about the different regions where they were spread out, but they all lived in North America, which is where we live, okay? North America is another name for the United States, which is where we live, okay? And when they lived in North America, you guys, we talked a lot about symbols, and then our book talked about different artifacts. So how we were able to study them and know so much about them is that these Native Americans left artifacts behind for our historians to discover and research, and that's how we were able to get so much information about our Native Americans, okay? Okay, so we talked about how there were different tribes in these regions. We talked about the Hoppy Tribe, the Kiowa Tribe, and the Tingler Tribe. And we talked about these tribes in our social studies workbooks. So this was kind of a week ago before you guys made your own booklet. But that's why I'm reviewing this part with you guys. But these tribes lived in different regions, okay? So if we remember that the Hoppy Tribe, they lived in teepees, okay? So if you guys talked about whoever studied the Plains region, remember that their homes were made out of teepee and they hunted buffalo. And we talked a lot about that. And the name of the tribe that lived in the teepees and that hunted buffalo, that was the Hoppy Tribe, okay? So the Hoppy Tribe lived in the Plains region, and they lived in teepees and they hunted buffalo, okay? So I'm going to write this down for you guys so you can see it. Lived in teepees, hunted buffalo. Okay, so we have the Hoppy Tribe. They lived in teepees and they hunted buffalo. So remember, we talked a lot about this in our booklets, how they created their own teepees so they were easy to move as they traveled, and they followed herds of buffalo, and that's what they ate for dinner, okay? So this is the Hoppy Tribe, okay? Now we're going to talk about the Kiowa Tribe. And if we remember correctly, the Kiowa Tribe would be our Southwest tribe. And they lived in the desert. And they wove clothes and made baskets. So that's what they did. So the Kiowa Tribe lived in the Southwest. So for those of you who chose Southwest last week as one of the 3 regions you wanted to explore, the name of the tribe that lived there was the Kiowa Tribe, okay? The Kiowa Tribe lived in the desert. So we have the Hoppy Tribe, who lived in teepees and hunted buffalo, the Hoppy Tribe. Then the Kiowa Tribe lived in the desert, okay? And then lastly, remember we talked about our Tingler Tribe, and I read the story about the little Tingler boy who really wanted to go on the canoe with his dad, and his dad finally let him go out and hunt for fish. So the Tingler Tribe, they built canoes and they carved the totem poles. So remember when we studied our Northwest region, they made their houses out of totem poles, right? So the way we can remember the Tingler Tribe is, let's think of the Tingler little boy and how he really wanted to go on the canoe. So the tribe that built their own canoes was the Tingler Tribe. The tribe that lived in teepees was the Hoppy Tribe. And the tribe that lived in the desert was the Kiowa Tribe, okay? So we talked a lot about the regions and what they did, what kind of clothing they wore, what kind of food they hunted for, and that was what making our booklets was all about. But we didn't talk about the specific names as much, so that's why I'm reviewing them with you now. So we have the Hoppy Tribe. The Hoppy Tribe, what did the Hoppy Tribe do? Think about it. The Hoppy Tribe lived in teepees. Then we have the Tingler Tribe. And what did they do? They used canoes. They built their canoes. So we've got the Hoppy Tribe, who lived in teepees, the Tingler Tribe, who built canoes, and then lastly we have our Kiowa Tribe, who lived in the desert, Okay, so these are 3 key things about each tribe. Hoppy Tribe, teepees. Tingler Tribe, canoes. Kiowa Tribe, desert. So those are the key words that go with each tribe, okay? So now you guys are gonna take your social studies test. This was just a quick review. I spent a lot of time teaching, and we made it's over there, but I made the poster for you guys last week and showed you each page that was going in the booklet. So this was just kind of a little verbal review for you guys right before you take the test. I hope it helped. If you need to watch it a couple times, go for it. However, when you take the test, I would want you guys to make sure that you're taking the test on your own, without the video and without help, okay? So good luck, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow.